So as you're laying back, take a couple of good deep breaths. Just nice and relaxed. Happy to be here, happy to be moving together. So the intention that I was thinking of for today's class has to do with ancient mythology. This one's one from a Babylonian myth. It's the myth of the Queen of Heaven and Earth, Inanna. And she wanted to travel to the underworld. Her sister was the queen there, the queen of the underworld. And in part of her journey, she had to come across 7 different gates. And in order to pass through them, she had to give something up. So in one of the gates, one of the things that she had to give up was a breastplate. Now, this can be related to how oftentimes we kind of close off our heart space. We protect and shield our emotions because it's easier to not feel than to go through the variety of emotions. Though happiness is amazing, when we're really diving into emotions, letting ourselves feel rather than be numb, we will also experience some of the hard things: sadness, anxiety, stress, all sorts of hard things as well. So it was, in this mythology, it was kind of a metaphor that she had been completely numbing herself to those emotions, to her heart. And in taking that breastplate away, suddenly everything was wide open. She was vulnerable, she was exposed, and her heart got to experience all the extremes. So what we're playing with today is all sorts of poses and kind of imagining how our heart is stretched in a way by these different poses. So it's kind of more like extending to our rib cage. So I think of the rib cage or the heart as being like a cube. So there'll be things that flip us upside down. So that's kind of like the top part of the cube. There's things that stretch through our side ribs. So that's like the sides of the cube of our heart. There's things that twist us. There's things that kind of shake us up. So we'll be doing all sorts of goodies today, but really imagine feeling how the heart space responds to it, how we're trying to expand through that way, stretching, especially through the front of the heart where we normally kind of close that front of heart down. So that's the image, that's kind of the story that will carry us on. So let's take our initial stretches. Let's bring the arms all the way to the back wall. And the arms will start to wiggle to the left and to the right. We're opening up those side ribs. So think of that as left and right parts of the heart. Go slow enough that you really get to that juicy part of the stretch. Even perhaps including the exhale when you're leaning to the side. Inhale, returning straight. Take one more each. And spine back through the center, right knee into chest, a couple of ankle rolls. Right leg up to sky, grab on, pull it in. Nice inhale. Exhale, hook this right heel to back left, slide the shin in. Deep inhale. Nice exhale. Free out the leg and drop it down. Left knee at the chest, a couple of ankle rolls. Imagine that this first series of poses when we're inside the hammock, it's like that shield. We're kind of covering ourselves up. People looking around can't really see our body very clearly. So imagine that's that shield that we got put up around our heart. We're kind of wiggling through the different extremes that we can. Go ahead and lengthen leg up to sky, stretching into hamstring. We're wiggling through the different extremes that are possible, kind of playing around with it. But just imagine we're completely shielded at this moment. And hook this heel to back right, slide the shin in. Taking a nice inhale. Exhale. Good. Free this leg out. Drop it down. Leaving the legs inside. Sit up enough that the fabric's starting to slide down your back. You might just be at kind of armpit area. You might be at middle waist. But we're taking a slight back bend off the back end. Like we're peeking out for just a moment. You can release hands if you want to. Or you can stay gripping on. Couple of breaths to feel that front of the chest exposed for a moment. One more inhale. Exhale. Rise back up and come into a forward fold stretch over the two straight legs. Sometimes when we've had brief moments of kind of coming out of our shield, sometimes we retreat right back inside. It's kind of like the turtle effect. Like, oh, there's a world out there and I'm just going to come right back inside. So how often do we do that with our heart? It's like we're testing it to see if it's safe around the people that are friends and family members, people that we want to become closer to. The knees start to open, the heels slide closer to the glutes. So it's like a kind of a frog inside. And the elbows come forward out the front. Clasp the hands together, placing them at the back of the head. And we're curled in so that now we're really stretching through the back of the heart space. Think of that as the past. It's all those things that are behind us that make it so that we're afraid to shine our heart forward. Okay, hands release, arms, shoulders come back inside. Come to a spot briefly where you can see me. So whatever that is, this one's kind of a funky approach to get into it. But the idea is, this is kind of one of the most enclosed inversions that we have. So with this one, the feet do similar to what we were just doing, but they step closer. So a full foot in, and then I grab up high, put my knees open out to each side, so I'm kind of held up in this kind of diamond shape for the lower part of my body. For the upper part of my body, I want to make it like a vampire. So one arm at a time, I bring it up, kind of start to drape it over the shoulder, and then I need to hold on for safety as I get the other side in place. So once I have both shoulders, I'm gripping kind of close to the neck area, and then I start to lean forward. And then here you are, just kind of in a beautiful enclosed lotus shape. So if anybody needs help as you're getting into it, I can kind of spot, but start off with those wide knees and then one shoulder at a time works on getting that fabric behind you up to your shoulder like a vampire shape. Okay, have one hand on for safety. Yeah. Grip close to shoulders. Hands in here. Or you need to cover your shoulders like a vampire.
Oh,
thank you. You're welcome. Wait a minute, gotta get them higher.
so like this?
Yep, and then grip close so it won't slip off of here. This part needs to be hidden so that. Okay. Yep. You need to grip close. You need to grip on that part.
Oh, I got it.
Yep, elbows in. Just like that. And then when you grip close, you'll be good to lean forward. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're good, you're good.
Like forward. Like.
Lean. Oh, cool. Emily, you look great. Yeah, side. No. All the way down here. This is what happens. Okay. No, it's okay. That's okay. Take a little break.
It's tricky to get into, but it's really cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So
This is really
quick. Yeah, as you're going down to be more centered. So as you're going
This is why aerial yoga.
Yeah. Yeah. If you need oh, you can take a shirt. Where elbows stay. There, you tuck it into this part. So they will need to end up forward. Yeah. Yeah. So one at a time, you have to bring it out. Yep. Isn't it amazing? Those are I love this one. But hold on high as you get the other arm. Like, yeah.
Going for it.
You got
Yay! Congrats! This is an incredible stretch. I'm like,
isn't this amazing? I love this one. Yeah, your feet shifted when you're Is it comfortable? Okay, if it's comfortable, you're good. So like our normal inversions, I'm not going to tell you when to come out, just whenever you're ready. And you kind of just like tuck yourself into a ball and you'll roll backwards.
so like
That'll work. Yep.
oh, cool.
And this is working. We've got like 3 approaches to come out. That's totally fine. Whatever works. No rush though, because some of you just got into it. So if you came out, give yourself a couple of easy breaths. So imagine that when we flipped upside down, it's like that got the very top of our cube from our normal orientation, that top like closer to our head. Like we flip things around like an hourglass. So here we'll spend just a little bit more time. So what I would do is go up to vampire and then roll backwards. Yeah. Yeah. You got it. Okay, so what we'll do is spend a little bit more time kind of in this shielded kind of state. We'll do some of our stretches really deep inside the fabric. So if your head has had enough recovery time, great. If not, give it a little bit more. But eventually we're gonna keep the feet off the front, sit up. We'll face our way into the center of the room. So bunch up your fabric to the direction that brings you to center. Lock your arms straight. The hip that just got lifted, swing it up and over. then both heels inside. Whenever you get there, give it a couple of breaths. The arms push out so that you get the inner thigh stretch. Try to engage the core so you're sitting up tall. Letting the right hand on the right leg, left hand up and over to the right. Side stretch for the heart. And raising up. Second side, lean to the left, both arms. Good. Rise up, spine is tall. Get the feet to a spot where toes are completely inside and pretty much at the ends of the fabric. So even if you are off center, it doesn't matter too much. Get them so that the feet are in the right spot, just kind of close to the end, but toes are all the way inside. From here, we're gonna prepare to come to stand. So the heels slide close, the knees are popped out of the fabric. A little frog squat. Come to a toe squat. Knees pop out for balancing. Okay, so pop your knees out and then come to a toe squat. So bunch up the fabric in front of you. Toe squat. Let that one knee go out. There you go. That's okay. Okay, now gripping high, let's stand all the way up. Beautiful. Facing forward, your shoulder gets closer to the front, comes around from behind, and splits. So this is the easy version because our armpits will hold us up. If you want to come deeper, readjusting the grip inside, that is an option as well. Lower to the back knee. The hips, you have to kind of shimmy past the tight part and then sit on your back foot. Whenever you're sitting on your back foot, you'll stretch your arms forward to the front foot like sitting up. Your front foot swivels around in the direction that you would take like a pigeon. We all have different legs, so swivel it in, and then the arms dive through the front, circle all the way around, clasp your wrist from behind, and then lean forward. So essentially a Gomu Katsu. Feel how this is another chance to get into the back of the heart. Notice how the back of the heart affects hips and legs. As we release our hands, you'll immediately come inside so we don't fall out. Grab up high on the front line. And then lifting your hips up, you'll continue to slide your hips forward into pigeon. Your choice, if you stay up with the spine, it's more of a back bend, so it opens the front of the heart. Or you can do an easy sleeping pigeon. The shoulder that's closer to the toes, the front toes, that shoulder can come out. If you're taking the sleeping pigeon, I like to leave the second shoulder in so that leaning into that, you get that nice shoulder massage. Pressure. Rocking onto your front hip, swing back open to wide angle. Press the legs open. Okay, prepare to stand back inside to make sure toes are still good. Slide the heels in, the knees need to pop out to come to the toe squat. Grip up high, raise up. And then the shoulder that's closer to the back wall is the one that comes to the behind. Good. Splits. And if you wanted to readjust grip to be on the inside, that's allowed. And when you're ready, lower to kneel on the back knee. Shimmy your hips backward to sit on the back foot. And then lean forward, grab to the front. Spine tall. Swivel the leg in, kind of like the pigeon pose direction. Good. Then arms dive out the front, circle around, clasp the wrists behind your back. Lean into it. Release hands, shoulders come in immediately. For the facing of this direction, grab onto this front end. And then the hips lift up to continue to slide forward into pigeon. You did sleeping before. Slide out just the shoulder close, that's above the front toes for this direction, so that the other shoulder can be pressing into the fabric like a massage. Rock onto your front hip and then swing back open, wide angle. A couple of breaths in our womb pose. The bottoms of feet together. Completely closed off, completely shielded. Huge inhale. Exhale, relax. The feet start to come free out of each side. Lifting up the fabric, our back leg, the leg closer to back wall, swings up and forward. Take a twist, letting our spine have a chance to rotate. So grab fabric to front door. Then the arm closer to the back painted wall, stretches backwards or circles around back side. Release, switch sides, same stretch to back door. That's the arm that's closer to the back wall that'll be stretching back. Yeah, there you go. As we release, take both arms behind us, clasp hands together. Hand shift to right hip or right waist, and then right ear drops to right shoulder for a moment. Head lifts back up. Hands go to left hip or left waist, left ear to left shoulder. Good. Head up. We'll set up for vampire with the splits. So take one thin layer of fabric to completely cover shoulders and then lay back. Yeah, you can always readjust that. Like I got twisted. That's fine. Okay. You'll have right foot tucked into a little pocket to interlude, and then left foot will be free. So from that orientation, you'll come upside down to vampire. So right foot is the only one in, left is like the naked foot. Okay. When you're there, this right foot or the closed foot comes down as far as it can to the space in front of chest. The left foot slowly steps all the way to the floor. Oh, we're starting to break free of our shield. Oh. Which one's right? Right foot's in, yeah. So breaking free of the shield, we're starting to crack the egg, take the splits backwards by just leaning your weight back. If you have a really big split, you might hop your foot on the ground forward so you have even more space to splits. So that nice massage, that pressure on the neck. Keep leaning into that so we don't lose our connection of shoulders in the fabric. Beautiful. Let's prepare to switch. So if you hopped your foot forward, hop it back under your hips so that you don't swing too bad when you're switching feet. Set left foot into the pocket, right to the floor. Same feet positioning. You sink into second step. So how nice it is sometimes to crack open the egg, open up, expose the heart. It's like we're testing the waters. So just dipping our toe in the water right now. So hop that foot underneath the hips, step both feet into the fabric for a moment, and then pike your way up to a full vampire. Start to kind of pedal the legs until the feet are free. So it's like we're working our way outside of that shield even more. And perhaps you'll play with balance here. One leg going forward, one leg backward. Switching, you can kind of play around with it. Sometimes I'll even kind of like scissor kick around one of the poles. Then come back up. So kind of play around with this balance, play around with what it is to be a little bit more free. And this will be kind of like before you choose how long you're upside down. Start to come out. When the majority comes out, we'll make our way out of the hammock, but no rush. No rush, but sooner or later when we're out, we're giving our head a couple of good breaths. So breathe slow and deep. This will help us as we transition our head back to upright orientation. If you need a couple more breaths, that's fine. If you're good to sit up, we're going to take a flip to come out. So bunch up the fabric. I like to have it about shoulder height. And then I pike my legs up, slowly tilt backwards. The grip is the most important part. You can just come forward if you're nervous. You got it. So taking the grip back to how it was, we grabbed nice and tight, kind of shoulder height. Let your arms kind of one at a time go backwards and then down. Good. And then you'll let yourself come forward like a plank so that it brings your arms and your chest forward. Your choice if you're also dipping hips down or if you're keeping it tight like a. This depends on how much weight you want in the shoulders, how much the grip strength is doing okay. If it's too tight, you can always just take any amount of your weight back over hips. Then we'll start to head weight over hips, spin the knees, roll up. The grip is still the same. We're straightening the arms to kind of a back angle. Push the heart forward, lift the chin up, and then you just have to lean backwards an inch or so. Like a big fountain, up our feet, out our heart. Good. Rising the spine back up, the arms come up overhead, slide the fabric down to shoulder width, and just your choice if you want to sway here at all or if you want to just stay forward, whatever feels best for the spine. Into the knees, roll the spine up, and throughout the hands. Fabric comes behind us. And I'll face this way for this next chunk. So fabric's going to be across sacrum. We're taking one step back, heading backwards. So lean into it, core is engaged, tiptoe forward until you're at your plumb line. And then hands up, knees wide, wrap the feet around. Leave the right leg forward. Left leg comes to the space behind us for a brief chandelier. Maybe one or both hands grabs for that foot. Let the knee continue to travel backwards behind you. Open up that back hip. Beautiful. So leave the foot, that left one dangling behind you. Reach up, grabbing the fabric. This right foot is still crossed. You need to walk your hands up to like a halfway lift so your head has a moment. Okay, we're gonna actually head there in just a moment.
Oh. Just
Okay, so when your head feels good that you can stand up, squeeze your right knee in, tilt forward to stand.
right.
Yep. Okay, and you're shifting some of the fabric over into the left hand, the left arm locks straight. This right arm can muscularly straighten, or maybe you grab your right fingers for the strings. That's okay. So next time you'll do left or straight. I was thinking one person was off, but from this, like looking in the mirror, I was like, wait, I'm not sure which one. Okay. And bend the right knee. Fabric comes around forward. Flat hands on the fabric. Forward into warrior one. And weight back. Slide to the ankle. Split forward. Weight over the standing leg. If you can balance without hands, hands can be at heart or open. This front leg is going to take a few rounds, opening wide, crossing in front. Take 4, and 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. As the foot comes back forward, slide fabric into the foot. As we stand up, both feet come inside. Try to the best that you can to hold on tight, pike the knees up, and then slowly lower into a seat. Good. Dropping the toes forward, we'll take a little back bend here. You can even slip it off the glutes, lower yourself back. Good. And then arm strength pulls us back up to stand.
I thought you were going to stand in the hammer.
Sorry. Just stand normal. And then we're heading upside down again. A little trick. Good. So head upside down. Second side. Okay, so this time left leg stays, right leg comes out for chandelier. Try to grab onto. Yeah, switch sides for you. Like the hip massage. Isn't it pretty open? Yeah, for sure. Okay. So keep the legs exactly as they are, but grab onto fabric. Come to a half lift from the head. When you feel safe to stand, squeeze the left knee in, tilt forward to stand. Good. Fabric more of it shifts into the right hand to hike this knee as high as it'll go, muscularly, or just grab on and try to extend left. The knee comes around in front, nice and high, warrior one. And weight comes back, slip down to the ankle, split. Standing up, maybe you need to stay gripping on, maybe hands at heart or open. And we're taking this for 5, as open as you can to both directions. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide down to step. Up high, both inside. A nice tight grip to lift the knees. Try to slowly, softly lower. Toes find the ground, slip past the hips into a little back bend. Arm strength pulls us up to stand. Good. One more time, straddle back. Work across the hip bones, come upside down. You can just hang if you'd like, or follow me into Vitruvian Man. So hands grab up high. We'll squeeze the knees into the middle to continue to walk up wide Vitruvian. Good. So for a moment, slide the left hand down, the right hand up at the ceiling, and stretch through the side ribs for a moment. Squeeze the knees so that the feathers. Oh. Yeah, squeeze the knees in the middle right there. Yep, slide the fabric to the knees and then up, dip through there. Good. Switch the grip. It is intense. Okay, I'll get there. That's all good. Okay. If you want to try for a fun little flip thing, both of your hands come onto this right side. So slowly lower your shoulder to the right. Eventually the fabric will slip down and you'll catch it on that right. Good, let that left leg hang. And then you're grabbing left hand for left foot behind your back. Let's do a softer straddle back. Good work. Good work. Yep, soft straddle back is fine. Okay, and if you did one side, release back to both feet. Coming up high, so we can do second side. Yeah, you'll kind of have to recenter yourself. Both feet in. Good. Walking your hands up high. Squeeze the knees in. Come all the way up one more time. Good, that works. This one's okay. See, so left hand left. This one, left shoulder or right shoulder starts to go forward. Catch that left knee. Good. Yeah, perfect. And then right hand to right toe side. Awesome. Beautiful. Release. If you want more straddle back time, just hang. If you're at that point of wanting to come up, you'll come up and lean back when you get there. Hands come behind the head. We can bend the right knee. Right elbow comes closer to right knee. Straighten that side. Everything goes to left. Beautiful. Lean forward. Face your fabric. Wave it out as if we're about to. Up to this. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, the Vitruvian flips it around a lot, so you have to unwind it first. Okay. So when you're heading inside for this part, just get enough fabric to slide it to the thighs. You don't want a bunch extra. Reaching your right hand forward and around, you're going to grab the excess behind you into your right hand and then bring the excess through that right side. Both heels come inside that part.
So it's going behind? Oh, yeah. Okay.
What were you just repeat this? Just reach forward, right hand forward. Let go of that that's behind you. Bring that arm back forward. Okay, so right arm forward and around. Grab the fabric, and then that's what you put your feet into.
So on the opposite left hand.
Okay. Well, if you're doing right, then just do your right arm.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's a nice forward fold, another breath. And then leave your right foot in that pocket that's in front of you. Your left foot comes into the pocket that's under your thighs. Bending both knees, kind of like we did before, to come up to stand. Grip high on each side. And then we're coming to stand. This one does take us outside. So if you're uncomfortable with your grip strength, you can always skip this part and just stay where we were a moment ago. So it'll eventually be a thumbs down grip over each side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you ended up with your opposite legs in.
You know, this is the second time that's happened.
That's all good. That's all good. This would just be a split. Okay. And you might have to just come out to switch sides. Oh, I could just. There you go. There you go. That'll work. Okay. Your left foot, I call the dominant foot. So shake the right foot free. Come back down for second side. Just sitting on the front end of the fabric. And if you need to step to ground to come in, that's okay. And this time fabric will be off to the left. Take a couple of breaths with that forward fold. And just kind of mentally switch left and right for you. Okay. So if I say left, you do right. Okay. That's all good. You'll get the second side, I think. Okay, so this time left stays in the one in front of you, right comes to the one under your thigh. Again, bend both knees, reach up high. Come up to stand. Sometimes I have to kind of readjust my grip 2 or 3 times. But once you're up, it's a thumbs down grip over each side. And then splits. See how different this splits is than the first one, where we're outside the fabric. We're open-hearted. Give it about as much time as you were on the other splits. And when you're ready to come back, stand on the left foot. Stand on the right foot, and then this time you'll just send your weight all the way back into Shavasana.
Beautiful.
I'll come by if you want to rock more or less than you currently are. I'll help out. We're here for these last couple of minutes, just letting the body integrate all the benefits of practice. Imagine that heart having twisted, having flipped, having stretched sideways, so many variations. Imagine that breast shield has been taken away, and that can feel scary and vulnerable. But just feel how it is inside of our body right now, having moved in all those different ways so freely. That freedom is what we're looking for. So just breathe in and out and enjoy how the body feels. Begin to deepen inhales and exhales. Do some little movements back to the body. Stretching out in ways that feel good. Maybe wiggling shoulders left and right. Maybe taking a fetal position, rolling onto one hip, rolling into a tight ball and arching back. Whatever movements help to wake up the body, the spine. Turning us to this room in this time, space. Eventually we'll come up to a comfortable seated place when you're ready. You're up sooner or later, take your hands to that beautiful, vulnerable spot right in front of the heart, the missing breastplate. And just take a breath to feel how it is to have that exposed heart, that exposed emotional state. Think of if there's somebody in your life that you'd like to be just a little bit more open and vulnerable with. And with this freedom, this openness, this vulnerability to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together. The sound of full deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.
Namaste.